Hi, let's talk about carb addiction, which is one of my favorite subjects, I think, just because it's very close to my heart and something that I've been suffering with myself for most of my life. And once a carb addict, always a carb addict. They still have a place in my brain, and I'm still probably addicted to them, but I know how to handle it now. There are people that claim that carb addiction isn't real, that it doesn't exist, that we're just blaming it because we don't have any willpower or whatever it is. Even though there is research that is showing that rats that get to choose from between cocaine and sugar, they will always go for the sugar, for example. Now they even choose sugar over mating with the female rat companions. And this should tell you something, because this is the only way for any species to survive, is to make new rat babies. So if they rather sit and eat sugar than proliferate, we're not going to have any more rats. Now with the human population, it's not quite so bad, but I can actually relate. I'm not a rat, and I know that you're not a rat either, so we can't just directly translate this, but what I can tell you is that I know exactly how these rats feel, because for many years, if I didn't get my sugar fix, it was really hard to get my attention. I couldn't focus on anything for very long. When I was studying at university, I needed to have chocolate or something to distract me from the uncomfortableness of writing and studying, and always have some sort of sweets around me. And there's a joke that you can see how long someone's been studying because the hips are growing the longer you've been a student. And there is some truth to that, because we need to focus, and if we're addicted to foods, we will just think about those foods constantly, and the only way for us to focus is to actually have that food around, because that will take that away, which will give us the ability to focus again. So with that said, I'm getting off topic here. So we are not rats anyway, and whether you want to recognize this or not, if you regularly eat more than you should of a processed food, any processed food, just pick one, you have difficulties cutting down or quitting, or eating carbs in moderation is really difficult for you, or you use carbs or processed foods as a way to reduce stress and anxiety, then you're most likely addicted to carbs. Okay, so I'm not saying this to judge you in any way, I'm saying this to make you aware of what's going on. If you stick your head in the sand, it's going to be really hard for you to do anything about it. Also, this also goes for everyone I know that has ever told me that they don't have a problem with carbs, but they don't want to eat low carb because it would be too boring. So that is telling me that there is an emotional attachment to the carbs, but they don't want to admit it. And that's fine. If we're not there, we're not there. We can't do anything about it. But I want you to question yourself if you feel somewhat emotionally attached to the foods, or like, I couldn't ever not eat bread, or I couldn't ever live without this food. There's something going on there. Why can't you? Of course you can. You just don't want to. Okay. So I'm going to show you a list here. There are 10 items on the list, and if you have any of the following, you're probably addicted to carbs to some degree. The more of them you have, the worse it probably is. So number 1, you're craving sweet or savory processed foods containing carbohydrates, even if you're not hungry or if you just ate. That was me. Sometimes it is still. Number 2, you can't imagine a life without bread, pasta, potatoes, soda, or chocolate, or anything carbolicious. Yep, I have been guilty of that as well, not as much anymore. Number 3, once you start eating sugary or processed food, you can't stop until they're gone. I'm guilty of that one. Number 4, each time you've eaten too much of these foods, you tell yourself that you will do better tomorrow. Yep. Number 5, you can't focus on work or being present in the moment because you are constantly thinking about your next snack or your next meal or where you should get them, etc. I've been there too. Number 6, you have noticed that you used to be satisfied after 1 chocolate bar and now you need 2 or 3 to feel the same satisfaction. This happens in all addictions, and it's called that you're building up your tolerance to the substance. So you just need more of this substance, whatever it is for you, to feel the same release, satisfaction, enjoyment. And that's definitely true for me. Now, this development can take some time, but it always happens. Number 7, you get headaches, you feel tired, you're grumpy when you don't get your carb fix, etc. Now, don't confuse this with low blood sugar, because that can happen as well when you're diabetic, especially if you are on certain glucose lowering medications. That could happen and that can cause the same thing. But if you experience these symptoms and your blood sugar is fine, that's probably a problem. Number 8, when you feel stressed, anxious, sad, or maybe even happy, you want to eat processed foods. So this is an emotional connection. For me, it has always been when I'm bored or when I want to procrastinate. That's when I want to eat. Number 9, you go out of your way to get these foods. I know people who've been driving long distances in the middle of the night to get to a service station that is super far away because nothing else is open to get what they want. Personally, I haven't done that, but I have been known to bake a chocolate cake at 2 a.m. in the night because I couldn't sleep because I had such cravings. So we all have these crazy things that we do. I know people who literally pick up food that have thrown away in the bin the day after and eat it because it's there and they know that it's there. So this is not normal behavior, and it's something that would tell you that you're probably addicted to this food. Number 10, you hide how much of these things you eat from your friends and family or for anyone. So this could be just that you buy something and you sneakily eat it when no one's around, or you only eat it when everyone else is in bed. I know people who they buy so much stuff that they don't even dare go and buy it all in the same supermarket. So they go and buy something at one place, then they go to the bakery and pick something up there, and then they go to a third supermarket to get more stuff there, because they can't face people knowing how much of this stuff they consume. And they pretend that they're shopping for a whole family maybe when it's just one person. That sort of thing. So if you have one or more of these, you probably have some sort of carb addiction, and you probably want to do something about that. So in my world, working with carb addiction for a few years now, I have pretty much seen it all. It may sound crazy, but I have had people who tell me that they're ready to quit and they're so excited to work with me and they really need my help and they can't wait to get started and everything is so exciting and they just really happy that I want to work with them. So they pay me a lot of money, they see me a couple of times, maybe one, maybe twice, and then they're gone. They ghost me for maybe 2-3 weeks. They don't reply to my emails. When I'm trying to reach out, I get no reply, and I know why. And they are usually in a several week long binge. It doesn't happen for everyone, but it happens for people. And once they are done with the binging and they come to their senses, they come back with their tail between their legs and they expect me to be angry at them or yell at them or make them feel bad about themselves. I'm not doing that. And they tell me what happened. And they're so ashamed of what they did and they can't understand why they did it, because they really felt motivated and they felt like they were ready to do it. And then this happened and they don't know why. And all I want to tell you is that it's a lot more common than you think. I haven't had one client do this. I have had several clients do this. It's not because I'm a bad coach or they are bad clients. It's just because of what it is. And everyone has their own journey. They need to process this in a specific way, in whatever way that looks like to them. Okay? Some people simply need this blow up to get rid of the anxiety that it brings committing to work with a coach to deal with a problem. And that's fine. The good news is that usually when we get on with it, when they come back, they actually start believing that it's possible, that they can do this, and that they are going to be able to quit. And when they can believe that, that's when things are starting to happen. And usually they happen quite fast. Sometimes too fast. And they're being like, whoa, what's happening? It can't be this easy. And they start doubting again. Like, there's something fishy here. What's the catch? But that's okay. We can deal with that. So if you think that you are this special snowflake and that you will never be able to quit, I want to challenge you. Ask yourself, why is it that you think that you are so special? You're just a human being, just like me and like every single one of my clients. And there are many examples of people who have overcome carb addiction. It's not just snapping your fingers to get there. It requires some work and it requires dedication. But it's entirely possible. And the only one who can choose what to do moving forward is you. You can use a coach if you like, or you can do it on your own. All a coach can do is guide you in the right direction. You're still the one who has to do the work. So I'm just one of these people. I have overcome my carb addiction, if you like. Am I perfect? No, I'm not. But I am in control. And that is good enough for me. That is actually something I never thought that I would be able to do, ever. So if you want to learn more about how to do this, you can just subscribe to this channel, because I'm going to put out some material about this as well, because it's very close to my heart. So I want to talk about it, and I want to make sure that you believe and know that you are capable of doing this. You can also have a look through some of my previous videos, because I've been talking about this a lot in the past, and especially a video named How to Stop Eating Sugar, and then brackets, it's easy. That's a very good one if you want to know how to do this. And if you are type 2 diabetic, I also want to encourage you to join our Facebook group for type 2 diabetics. If you're not type 2 diabetic and you want to join another group for like-minded people who are struggling with carb addiction, sugar addiction, or any type of food addiction, please send me an email at pim@pimjohnson.com, and I will tell you where me and my carb addicted friends are hanging out. I will see you in the next video.